Hey everyone, welcome to Starting at Shawn. Today I want to introduce you to the first project on the channel, which is called HistoryBox. HistoryBox makes it easy for people to record their personal history and stories and share it with their friends and family. I have volunteered as a community visitor at a retirement community for a few years now. And while I was unable to visit during COVID, I started thinking of ways to put my tech skills to use to help out my friends. As a community visitor, I get to hear lots of amazing stories. One of my friends actually started writing her memoir around her 100th birthday. She was an amazing woman, and she'd actually worked as a typist at one point, so she's very familiar at the computer. But her vision was quite poor, and her hearing was going too. The way she did her memoir was that she would open up Word, she knew exactly where the icon was. She would type a few sentences, and then she'd click on her screen, and it would read it back to her into her headphones. She was able to get a lot of stories down this way, but it was filled with problems. If she accidentally clicked in the wrong spot, it would read back the story, but then when she started typing again, she'd end up with her new words in the middle of her existing story. This made for some very difficult editing jobs for her daughter or myself when I was there to help. If anyone changed any of her computer settings or moved a cable or she got an update message, she would have to wait for her daughter or myself to visit and fix things before she could do another story. This sometimes led to long times between her able to add a story, once up to 3 weeks while we were both away. I thought there must be a better way to get these stories down and shared with families. With HistoryBox, the person just has to open the box and start talking. When they're done telling their story, they close the box, and HistoryBox takes care of the rest. Once they're done telling the story, it's uploaded to our servers and transcribed to a text version. There, family members that have been given special access can go through and fix any errors and then share it with the rest of friends and family. All the people that have been added as followers then get sent an email with the story in text version, and if they want, they can click through and listen to it in the storyteller's own voice. The stories are kept available online for the storyteller's families, even once the subscription finishes. So it's my hope that kids in the future will be able to log on to HistoryBox and listen to their great or even great-great-grandparents tell the stories of their lives in the first person. Before my mum passed away, she had a tracheostomy and had to use an iPad to communicate. Fortunately, the app she used kept a history of all the things she said. After she's gone, I'd regularly listen to the app saying the things that she'd said. Even though it wasn't her own voice, there was still a connection there, hearing her words. It's wanting others to have that connection which led to the development of Legacy Mode. With Legacy Mode, the monthly subscription stops, and when the box is opened, instead of starting a new recording, it plays back a previous story that the person has told. It gives you a special reminder of this loved one's life and their stories and that connection of hearing their voice talking to you about their life. Something that's then available whenever you need it. So I've been working on this for quite a while now actually. The progress so far is that I've developed a demo web app and box, which I showed previously. I've shown off the prototype in public at a few demos and have received a lot of really positive feedback. I even got a story in the local newspaper. With a hardware project, unfortunately, like most of my projects which are software only, I can't just take it to market. There's certain regulations and certifications that I need to get before I can actually start selling the device. So to fund that, I'm going to start a Kickstarter campaign later on in the year. This actually has two benefits. The first is that I get some funding possibly if it goes well. The second is it gives me a chance to try out different marketing channels, different ad combinations and stuff, so that by the time I'm ready to actually go to market, I have a pretty good idea of how to sell. Being a programmer, obviously, I tend to lean more into the technical side of my projects. With this one though, to combat that, I'm going to have a little bit of a personal rule where out of every 3 weeks, 2 will be spent on marketing tasks only, and 1 on the technical. For the next few months, that means trying to build an email list for the launch of my Kickstarter campaign. With future videos, what I'll be doing is going through the previous week's accomplishments and the next week's plans, or goals, I should say. This week coming up is a marketing week, so my goal is to have 5 new ad designs done and to get at least 20 people onto the mailing list. I'll be back next Monday with an update on how I went with that and some highlights from the week, as well as my plans for next week, which will be a technical week. Thanks so much for watching, and if you want to follow along, please hit subscribe.